Welcome back. Time now for Pole Position. Sylvia.
Well, earlier this month, the Chinese government announced it would cut the country's carbon density by 40 to 50%. But with world leaders meeting in Copenhagen this week, some developed countries have expressed concern over whether China will be able to carry out its promise. Chinese experts have also warned this target will affect China's GDP growth. According to reports from Chinese website Huanqiu.com, when the GDP in China increases 1%, the consumption of energy increases by almost 1% as well. But conversely, if the GDP decreases by 1%, 1 million people will lose their jobs.
Now, we heard on yesterday's show that more than 70% of Chinese people surveyed said they would be prepared to suffer some daily inconveniences in order to achieve these emission cuts. But Huanqiu has found a different response to a question along the same lines. They asked internet users here if they supported China reducing emissions by a significant amount and in turn sacrificing economic growth. While 45% of respondents said yes, they did support this, they were overshadowed by a group of 50% who said no, they didn't support it. The remaining 5% weren't sure. Now, there were a number of comments on this, Sylvia.
Right.
One person saying that if we can't have both GDP growth and emission reductions, we should choose to reduce emissions because we all still need to live on the planet for a long time.
Right. Another comment here, Fergus. One person says China does not have the ability to save the world. We must first solve our many internal problems and situations. Let the Chinese people make some money.
Yes. Along those lines also is the third comment, which says developed countries want to use emission reductions as an excuse to stop China's development. We shouldn't let them unless they are willing to provide free technology to upgrade our economy. Otherwise, China will be poor one generation after the next, just for the sake of the world's environment.
Another one here, one person says, we can only think about our immediate interests and forget our longer-term ones. If we sacrifice our economic growth, China can continue to develop. At the same time, we'll have a better life and a better environment.
Indeed. So a fairly even split between those who think that China should actually move towards reducing emissions and those who feel that it's up to the West to help out.
Right.
Right, coming up next, stay with us. BON News continues with Straight from the Street.